Constitution to allow for land expropriation without compensation might infringe on their rights and even on that of ordinary South Africans, as they feel that it might threaten food security. NICOLENE SMALMAN reports.
Land rights, a highly controversial and emotional topic in South Africa, especially after government's renewed calls to speed up the land reform process by amending the Constitution to allow for land to be obtained without compensation.
As part of speeding up the process, we must do away with the willing buyer, willing seller, and that the prices for land must not depend on the market. Our proposal, which is going to go through the ANC policy process, is that we must introduce a model where the state will be the one that comes up with a price for land, and the willing seller, because that price will now be in the Constitution, will have no option but to take the price. Therefore, it will not be determined by the markets, it means it will be affordable.
Mr. Pierre Verkuil, a commercial farmer and president of Agri Northwest, says there are many farms for sale and that prices are being determined by various economical factors.
It's not a land problem, it's a people problem. It's not that there's not enough land, there's enough land available every day to be bought. The people problem side of it is to be able to identify those people that can actually farm, who are really interested in farming. Furthermore, the government holds on to the title deed. For the only reason they do that is the fact that the matter is they're scared that these people will actually sell the farm back to some white people again, white farmers again.
Now, there is a proposal that government hold a referendum and let South Africans decide how land should be acquired. A constitutional expert on land reform explains that this would be a slow and difficult process.
Our Constitution makes provision for a referendum. You can either have a provincial referendum or a national one, but in both cases a referendum must take place in terms of an Act of Parliament. And we don't have an Act of Parliament that regulates referendums. So if the Premier wants a referendum, he must first make sure that the Act goes through Parliament that regulates referendums, and that can take anything from 2 to 3 years.
She says land reform is crucial to right the wrongs of the past.
With land reform, there's a big element of trying to restore the dignity of people by making sure people have access to land or those on land are secure. And we often tend to focus on the food security or the economic aspects, and I think this is what makes it so volatile. Owners tend to focus on food security, economics, while other people say, but we need acknowledgement that our dignity was infringed and we want some form of restoration, and land is one such way to do it.
Verkuil says organised agriculture supports land reform, but again urged that those who attain land should be armed with the necessary skills to ensure agriculture remains sustainable.
We need black commercial farmers in South Africa because we needed to have peace and security for our farmers. We want for them what we want for ourselves. We don't want something different. We are prepared as farmers to do the mentoring and the coaching to be able to do this. Obviously, it's not as easy said, it's easier said than done. But we need time to sit around and be practical about it. It's a pity that the decision makers are not farmers. They don't understand the skills you need for agriculture. And as South African farmers, we feel that we are being threatened while we are actually the food basket of the country.
Verkuil added that Agri SA is of the opinion that the Constitution, in its current state, protects private property rights, which is the cornerstone of economic growth. He concluded by saying that farmers will continue to engage in discussions about land reform to ensure that it is to the benefit of everybody in the country. NICOLENE SMALMAN, SABC News, Setlagole near Mahikeng in Northwest.